Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘁𝙗 channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Dr. Ankit Shah, and we are going to be talking about this very important development, Bitcoins. If you are holding Bitcoins, is it possible that it could be stolen? In 2022 alone, one group from North Korea has stolen $3 billion worth of Bitcoins. What exactly is going on? And let us now hear from the maestro, Dr. Ankit Shah. Namaskar and welcome to 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘁𝙗 channel. Can you hear me, Ankit ji? We had a few problems starting and his screen froze. I'm sorry, it's really cold today. Yes, get going, sir. Yeah, Jai Sri Ram. Go ahead.
Ji. So there is a group called Lazarus Group,
Yes,
and
Lazarus,
North Koreans
yes.
have been doing this. Yeah, and they have been doing this for the last 4-5 years. This is not that something new that is happening. So for the last 5-6 years, they've been targeting all the private cryptos, and they are able to steal millions and billions of dollars because of that. And this is funding not just their country's budget, about 5 to 10%, but it is said that it equates about to around 50% of their military expenditure. So all the missile threats that are coming by stealing the private cryptocurrencies, the blockchain network, hacking them, and the Lazarus Group is just one which is famous for it. And these are trained by the Chinese Communist Party. So do not have any delusions about where it is coming from. So this entire training is from the Chinese hacking group, which have empowered the North Koreans to conduct this kind of stealing. Now, just last 1 year says that it is about $1.7 billion of private crypto wealth that is stolen from here. And this, not surprisingly, because you know that what I say in the two bucket theory applies to North Korea and South Korea both. So one bucket of nations gets dollars and arms, and the second bucket of nations gets sanctioned. So this distribution continues across all geographies. In fact, last month I was in Israel, and I got to know that only after the aid goes to Palestine, that arms deal go across to Israel. So the supply of arms would only happen once the aid money goes to Palestine. So this is how conflicts continue in all the regions. So this is not a surprise that the rogue nations are being artificially created, empowered, and this is how things happen. Now, for a lot of viewers who are watching us, because we know that the government of Bharat came up with taxation on online gaming and the selling of crypto assets as well. And as of now, we have not approved the Bitcoin ETF or any that sort of thing, despite a lot of pressure. So we're seeing in the West, as I've been talking, that a great financial reset is where we are heading towards. You are not surprised that once the trust from the finance system of the country would be lost, a lot of people would be going for purchasing physical gold. Now, since the powers to be do not want to give physical gold to so many of citizens when they come for it, they are propagating Bitcoin as a private crypto, which is as good as digital gold. So we should not be surprised next 1.5 years, private crypto, particularly Bitcoin, going up in valuations as we progress ahead in the crisis that is approaching. And once the crisis is going to peak and the reset negotiations begin, I believe that the central bank digital currencies in the West will take over. And after that, whatever that is there in the private cryptos will be abandoned, or whatever the scheme they make for transition to the new formula of currency. So yes.
So if I understand you correctly, if Lazarus doesn't get you, one or the other governments will get you. So it's probably better off, you're better off getting rid of Bitcoin while you are riding on a high. I have a question for you, Dr. Shah, and you can continue your talk. Just a simple question. United States approved, I think, 13 Bitcoin ETF companies. And as soon as that announcement came, everybody thought that the Bitcoin value will go up because there was a stamp of legitimacy. However, the contrary happened. Bitcoin has actually fallen since then. How do you explain this?
Well, there are two things here. One is you are seeing the stock markets going up. So basically, I'll tell you what's happening in the Western economies. One, that you have a bunch of people who have real estate, which is residence. Now, those people who are holding this real estate properties continue to hold it because that's the only real physical asset right now in hand. So that value is going to balloon as the crisis comes ahead more and more. And they are going to charge more and more rentals from people because they want to earn something out of it. Second bunch is they are lured to the stock market, as we know that they are at the highest levels at the point right now. You have 7 tech companies who are leading the stock market, as you must be knowing already. And the third point is the Bitcoin ETF. So the preferences of people who go for this 3 different kind of assets to relocate their money into are different sections of the society. Now, the youngsters are more into the Bitcoin and ETF stuff. The aged ones are more into the real physical asset. And then there is a section which goes into investing into tech because they believe the headlines about AI being a very great thing that is going to happen to humanity. Those paid propaganda that is going on in the media to prop up those tech stocks. So these are the 3 avenues. No one is, as of now, considering physical gold. And that is exactly what governments would want, because when they want to do a reset, I'm more than sure that gold is going to be one element of that formula. So they are not going to part with physical gold and neither going to create that awareness that this is what real money is. So I believe that once the reset formula comes in, all the private cryptos that balloons from now, after the stock market also crashes, the legal tender money usage of the private cryptos like Bitcoin will be cancelled out, and the entire system will be shifted to the CBDC, which is the digital dollar and digital pound.
So one of the fears expressed about the digital dollar is that anybody can be cancelled out now by the government. They can say that you shall not spend your money on this. So it's sort of like putting, blinkers on your eyes and saying that this is all you can do. This is the fear that is being expressed by many people who are saying that CBDC is coming, 𝗣𝙗𝙗𝘃 𝗣𝙗𝙗𝘃, that sort of stuff. I have asked you a question. Even today, anybody's assets can be frozen if it is proven that he is indulging in dubious activity. So how is it different?
Well, the CBDC is going to be mass scale, right? Because understand one thing, the communist Russia at one point in time had only one bank in the sense one ledger. So what CBDC does is every account is now on a single ledger. Okay, so that is a mass control. I mean, you are correct that you can pick one person, give him a notice, and then block the funds and stuff like that. But CBDC is a complete different animal. I mean, you can block masses. if you want. So this is in terms of scale, it is 100,000 times more control than anything else. So this is not the only fear. I believe that once they bring this crisis and do it, it is going to be a phased manner, which means that since the government is not going to be able to pay a lot of its own debts, the youngsters will be given this attraction that, okay, your debt also gets cancelled out to say 10, 15, 25%, something like that. So this attraction definitely will lure a lot many of youngsters to go for CBDC. Fear can always be cancelled out with inducements that you can announce, and especially if it is freebies. Okay, so some kind of benefits coming in the youngsters. In the West, I've been seeing some of those cases where they are even ready to put a chip inside the skin if there is some discount or some benefit that is coming up. So I think the aged ones like you might not fall into the trap, but then there are many youngsters who are heavily debt laden and they have no intention whatsoever to pay those debts back, which means that they can be lured into the system. And once you will have 50-60% of the youngsters into the system, it is very easy to make it mandatory.
Dr. Shah, one of the challenges that the Indian students in US are facing is that now 4 students have gone missing. Eventually, they are found dead. This is becoming a bit of a concern. We are going to try and put the pictures of these 4. I can only say that, I'm so sorry, and that their parents have to suffer through this. Who knows what kind of things they mortgage to get their children admitted into these colleges. In fact, last year, 1.4 million visas were issued by the United States government. 1.4 million. This is, I think, backfilling much of the COVID demand. And this is also, the pattern is really alarming. And Dr. Shah, do you know what is the reason for all this thing happening?
Well, it is very clear because I've been giving these warnings for years now. And in fact, I had given the exact time slot where these things will begin. So in September 2023 itself, I said that it is now coming. So you are not surprised, in the last 32 days, 4 of Indian students are dead. So when I'm giving out some warnings, please take it seriously, because this is about lives of people. And this is certainly going to amplify. And the background was being prepared for this officially by raking up the Khalistan issue. Because when the Khalistan issue came up, you must be remembering, Sree, what happened during that issue was the Indian government protesting on why you are giving support to this kind of terrorists, our listed terrorists, by the way. And then when you say this, and that that those are nobody but one of the NRI community gone rogue, right? Community members gone rogue, right? They were Indians, Khalistanis. So you got to understand that the background started being prepared from then onwards itself, that you will then no more be able to oppose when actually NRIs will be attacked. So I want that point in time as well, that the background is now setting. So understand that when financial crisis comes up, there is only one community in the West which comes in the way of the lifestyle which the rest of the communities in the West live. I want to make this point very clear from this channel to all the viewers, that NRIs are not successful because they are intelligent. NRIs are successful because they were dharmic. The concept of handling finance to the Bharatiya people comes from the dharmic viewpoint of having life cycles. That is, you take care of your aged parents and you also take care of the savings to ensure completion of education of the next generation. This concept of finance comes into Bharatiyas because of dharma, not because some classroom educated this fact. Okay, so the success of NRIs is not coming from the Abrahamic society or the education they gave or even the surrounding, because the people that you have in the surrounding, by the time they reach their education, their 2-3 parents change. Okay, so you need to understand that you are the odd one out community here, which do not believe in the freebies kind of a setup of lifestyle, which means that you come in the way of what rest of the citizens of the West look at how they run their life. So when so many of NRIs consult me for wealth management based on my geo-economic projections, the immediate problem I face is they will tell me, should I pay all my loans? This is the question that will come. And I tell them, भाई साहब कोई नहीं पे करने वाला, तुमको क्यों पे करना है? They do not, because they come from this dharmic concept of why should we have any kind of a debt, but they don't realize that none of the Americans or the Europeans are going to pay back their loans. They have absolutely no intention whatsoever. So if you want to benefit from the reset, delay paying back your mortgages as much as possible, because what my understanding of reset is, the Western countries saying we are not paying our debts, our people will also get benefit of not paying the debts. Let's jump to a CBDC. So this is what is, I believe, is coming.
So a takeaway for individual investors holding Bitcoins. One line, please, before we go to 2 questions and then we can wrap it up.
Well, whatever you want to do with the private cryptos like Bitcoins, you have only some months to do it, because it is going to go up, that is for sure, because the stock market will face a crisis event and it will crash, and people will be lured over there because Bitcoin will be visibly going up, private cryptos, but stay away, because once the reset kicks in, the central banks are not going to allow a competition for regulating currency. Okay, so stay away after some months. Whatever profit you want to make, you just have some months for it.
Thank you so much. Let's take a couple of questions. Ankit ji needs to leave. I promise him I won't take more than 20 minutes of his time. Rishabh Goyal wants to know, Ankit ji, huge fan here, eagerly awaiting for your next book. Any news on when they'll be released? Can't wait to get my hands on them.
So Rishabh ji, understand that Sanatan Economics was the book I promised, which I'm working on, but midway another book also started. So my hands are on 2 books right now. So we already have 2 books launched and 2 are in the process. In the coming months before the election, it will be launched. So
next one, please. Thank you. Next one, please. Divya, thank you so much. Ankit sir, I wanted to invest 2 lakh lump sum in mutual funds. Is it the right time or should I wait?
Divya ji, if you are able to keep a tab on the mutual fund guys about which sectors they are investing your money in, because I really doubt the mutual fund or the big investment guys are aware of the geopolitical movements that are happening in the background. I'm not sure they are aware of the reset that is coming and the crisis that is coming. So I would not suggest handling of money by anyone else. These people, they only know finance. I mean, they can give you a technical analysis and fundamental analysis and what returns they give. They are not aware of what's going on in geopolitics. You have big energy consuming and producing nations joining BRICS Plus. And October, President Putin is going to declare the new world order. So October this month.
This year. Okay. Thank you. This is the absolute last question. Yeah. This has relevance because it's about your book, and then we'll wrap this up. Arijoy Mitra wants to know. Hi, I read your book in your chapter, Desert Without Oil. You said if a religion is the only one from a region, that religion can fail/end. Is this just a theory or a proven fact?
Arijoy-ji, the theory that I gave in that chapter is about, from the point of origin, you need to have at least two different branches coming out. If that is what is not happening, then I believe that it is difficult for that religion to survive for too long. When I say too long, I say it from the Bharatiya perspective, because other countries have a history of, some of them with 500, 600 years history. Some other countries might have 1,000-year history. So from Bharatiya perspective, that is not too long. It is something like 1 year or 2 years in somebody's life. So I believe that in Saudi Arabia, what happened was Abrahamic commandments made a khichdi along with desert practices and cooked up. So I believe that cooked up khichdi is not going to continue for long. And now, I mean, 2 years back when I was saying, people were laughing, but now the signals are very clear, and everybody is talking the same thing: de-radicalization, de-dollarization, decolonization, de-missionarization, and decommunism.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ankit Shah. And it was a fascinating conversation. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.